Guys, so today I wanted to talk about the game I have been playing over the past couple of days. A game I both, liked and disliked over the past couple of days. Now, I want to get one thing out the way real quick. And I know y'all saw the title. And I know y'all are coming in here maybe a little angry for absolutely no reason. But let me start off by saying I like the game in terms of the actual gameplay of the game. I do. I've never said I dislike the game because of the gameplay that it holds. I like the cutscenes. I think the voice acting on the character is a much added detail to the game that I like a lot. And if you played World, those of you who have will also know that the character in World wasn't voice acted. And I always thought that that detracted from the story in a sense. I think it adds a lot more character. You can get a lot more connected to your character because of the new voice acting that they added. I also understand why the game's $70. It is a AAA game, and Capcom only makes these things every few years. The last non-arcade, game that they made in the series was over 7 years ago, right? And then Iceborne came along 2 years after that. But that isn't in and of itself a base game. So why am I making this video? Well, simply put it, the last video I made got a lot of hate, okay? And it got a lot of comments on it. Now, people were generally 60-40 in my opinion, but I just want to address some of the comments that some of y'all have made, okay? So, for example, bro, get a better PC. Okay, that's great. And the comparison to EA made here is just not needed. Do I give a fuck that EA makes shit games on launch? I don't buy their games because they're shit on launch. Why would I make an exception for Capcom? You know what I mean? Yeah, I like Capcom way more as a company, but if you don't recognize a fault in the company, they're just gonna keep doing it to you. Okay. Addressing the statement, bro, just get a better PC. I mean, I have an alright PC. I should be able to run the game at an alright rate. I'm well above system minimum requirements for the game, and as such, I do not, want a minimum experience. I'm on console, and I have no problems with the game. It's another thing I'm seeing. If you're on console, okay, and you're running the game just fine, let me tell you something. This is gonna sound mind-blowing for you, okay? The game was optimized for console, okay? But when they made the PC version of the game, okay, which is really in and of itself the same game, they didn't optimize it for PC, which they should if they're selling it on PC for $70, right? Maybe delay the game a month, okay? But make sure you're selling a finished product when you're selling a finished product. I made this video to basically tell people, hey, there's this massive fucking problem with the game, okay? And that's the game optimization. Don't buy the game until the game optimization gets fixed. That's all I'm saying, okay? And basically what this tells game developers is, hey, let's release a finished product, right? Because game revenue drives games companies, okay? And if their revenue's bad, let me tell you something, an alert goes off in their brain and they're like, hey, we need to fix this. So next time this won't happen. And I think, I think that's great. I think that's, as a community, what we need to do. Okay. I run a 7800 XT and have had zero issues. This is a new gen game. It requires new gen cards. I used to think it was an optimization issue, but in reality, we just need to catch up. Okay. Okay, buddy. Here's the thing. If you have NASA's computer, I hope you can run the game. If you have a high-end computer, which this guy clearly does, he has a high-end graphics card, I hope you can run the fucking game, okay? If I spent $800 on a graphics card, goddamn, I hope I could run that game, okay? Just because you have the best graphics card in the world doesn't mean that the game requires the best graphics card in the world, okay? And that is an exaggeratory statement. I know the 7800 XT is not the best graphics card in the world. I have to say that for some dumb people out there because they don't understand what an exaggeratory statement is. And by the way, if you have the best card in the world and it requires the best card in the world and the game graphics look like it's from a PS2, that is an optimization issue. I don't think you understand what the word optimization means. Okay? Let's get with the flow here. Now, while I do not think the game in and of itself is a shit game, okay? And while I do not think the game in and of itself is the best game ever made, I feel like a lot of people can't find a common ground here, okay? Can't have a complex view of the game. In my opinion, the game is just as good as World, okay? And I think in some cases, it's way better than World, okay? From the gameplay aspect of it, from the graphics side of things, from the viewing aspect side of things, I think it's hot trash. And I think you need to hold this company accountable. And we'll look at some Steam reviews. The Steam reviews are mixed, okay? And I think that perfectly describes the game. I think 58% being positive is good. It was last at 44%. And I think the latest patch they made to the game has actually helped it out quite a bit. But that should have been a day one thing. Okay, let's look at this guy's comment. Stop using outdated multiplayer systems. I actually completely agree with this. It's way too hard, okay, to just get in your friend's lobby. Okay? Once you set it up, it's great. But before you set up the whole squad thing, it's way too fucking annoying. Okay? It's just way too annoying for no reason. If you remember World, it was literally 2 clicks and it incorporated your Steam friends. Okay? Fix the performance issues. No excuse for this unfinished mess on release, especially if you're charging $70 for it. I completely agree. This is the point I made. I can't recommend the game with the price tag of $70. It's not even well optimized. But let me say this. For a console, this isn't a problem for you guys. I need to say it because I'm talking from the perspective of a PC gamer, okay? And some of y'all think that, that I'm talking from the perspective of a console. No, I'm not talking from the perspective of the console. They've also optimized it for console players. So I hope the game runs great when it's optimized for it. Okay. The last thing I want to go over is, do I think the game in and of itself is shit? The answer is no. I think it's a great game. I think it has a great base. I think it has great potential. I think the extension or the DLC for the game is going to be great. I have no problem with that. The difficulty being a problem is not actually a problem. If you have a problem with the difficulty, go back, play Monster Hunter World's low rank. Tell me if the difficulty is the same, because it is. The difficulty in this game is the same as it was in that game. But when a game company makes something bad, it must be made aware to the public so that we don't support something bad happening again, right? Anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about today. If you like the video, please hit a like. If you want more content like this, please hit subscribe. And I just want to say this, I think people need to have more complex views, okay? Because the game's not all bad, it's not all good. It's all right to have a complex view. Not everything in the game has to be 100% good. Not everything in the game has to be 100% bad. But in my opinion, this optimization problem on PC is a massive problem. It needs to be said, or else we're just going to keep getting more problems in the future like this. And I would like it to stop at this game, not at the next. We had the same problem in World, so I have no doubt it would get fixed. But just because there's a problem in World or in this game does not mean it's a problem that can't be fixed. It should have been fixed a month ago, or it should have been waited to be released. But we got it here, we got it now, so let's have fun with the game. But as I said before, I can't recommend buying this game until they fix the issues. Um, and ever since I made that video, I've only crashed twice. So, in my opinion, it has been fixed to a large extent with this latest patch. But, as I said previously, and I'll say again, until I have 0 crashes, because I do have a pretty decent computer, I will not be recommending this game until this is fixed at a later date. With that, y'all, remember to junk it out.